The world's a hot dumpster fire. You are not alone. You're acting in complete alignment, and your reaction to that is completely understandable. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a registered social worker, a psychotherapist, and a clinical consultant providing supervision. My algorithm is mostly dog memes. I like learning about anything that has to do with the unconscious. That's like a big focus of mine right now. And one of the reasons I'm really drawn to parts work is it's been illuminating for me to realize like, oh, wow, sometimes my behavior is being driven by things that I'm not always consciously aware of. And that's very empowering. We all need a space sometimes to sort of slow down and explore what we need. How has my body learned to adapt inside of the world, right? Inside of systems of oppression that were not really designed for you to thrive, inside of difficult past experiences that might continue to create challenges. And so embodiment is honoring the way your body has learned to adapt and survive, and also identify what you might really need or long for. I'm from the traditional unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. I grew up in a small town in New Brunswick called Memramcook. And my family background is Acadian and Filipino. So I have the experience of growing up as a biracial person, navigating some bicultural dynamics. I definitely know what it's like to feel a lot of complicated feelings about my identity as it relates to that. And I also know what it's like to experience some family hardship and to feel like you don't quite belong, and to try to understand how to navigate that, at least for me, looked a lot like masking or trying to figure out what other people really needed from me and then trying to kind of mold myself into that. It came pretty clear to me as I got older that not only was that pattern really tiring and exhausting, but that something really needed to change. And so that sort of drew me to want to understand a little bit more about the social conditions that create that type of experience for not only myself, but for other people. The type of therapy that I provide is long-term. And so what that means is that in our first session, the idea is that let's take our time together. I really want to get to know you, to understand your story. And I'm of the belief that a lot of that stuff can unfold over time. So in our first session, I'm going to ask some questions to get to know you more, maybe a little bit about your history, your background, what you're bringing into session, what your goals are, but also like what you really want. That would tell you that therapy's been helpful for you. And so we might even spend a little bit of time exploring sort of what your visions for change are. This feels so cheesy to say, but it's very true to me. Therapy for me is embodying the things that matter to you. It's being in relationship with yourself, with the community around you, and really identifying what actions and behaviors support that. Therapy is less about fixing myself and more about living in closer alignment with what matters to me and what's going to support the community. I also draw from mindfulness-based approaches. In particular, I have some training in acceptance and commitment therapy. Acceptance and commitment therapy is really all about moving toward what's important in your life. It's fostering more internal resilience and taking purposeful action toward a life that matters. And so that includes things like doing some kind of like hands-on goal setting together. It can look like identifying really specific things that you want to see change in your life, and then actively taking steps towards that. Sometimes the work might look like me being with you in your experience, actively listening, offering empathy, support, containment. But I'm also the type of therapist that will challenge you sometimes. I'm also someone that's going to invite you to maybe go there when something feels tricky. Not like dive full in, but maybe kind of like dip a toe, and then maybe we kind of explore that little by little. I'm someone that offers reflective feedback based on what I'm also noticing. So I think it's important for me as a therapist to also bring a little bit of that self into the room. So if I'm kind of sensing something, I might offer that as a way for us to kind of explore it, explore your experience further. Saying yes because you feel obligated. If you're noticing yourself feeling resentful, maybe you're getting a little short with people, with yourself, You're not feeling like you have so much time for yourself anymore. Maybe feeling either disconnected from people around you or just noticing that you kind of want a little bit more. If you're longing to be in connection with hobbies, with creativity, but don't quite know kind of where to start, that could also be a sign.